Let's carry on with the shaming myself, shall we, and go through some more unread books that I own. Hi everyone, my name's Chloe, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today. Today's video is going to be part 2 of me going through all of the books that I own and I have not read yet. So if you haven't watched yesterday's video, I will link it down below, but that is me going through all of the physical books that I own that I have not read. How many times am I going to say that type of sentence in this video? But in this one, I'm going to go through the non-physical TBR that I have. So basically this is ebooks. I have got ebooks that I've acquired through various different means. So there are a lot of them that I've got on my Kindle, which are sort of Kindle daily deals mostly. Ones that I have picked up when they were 99p, thought I might want to read this, I'll get it while it's cheap, and then just forgot that it's there because I don't tend to read too much on my Kindle. And the ones that are the similar sort of vein on Apple Books. But then we also do have a fair amount of e-arcs on here as well, because I request e-arcs and then just never get around to reading them. And sometimes I request ones that are midway through a series that I've not even started yet. So basically there's not too much else to explain today because it's a fairly straightforward video. It's just me shaming myself with all the books that I own and have not read. So let's just start, shall we? I have broken this list down. I have my iPad here and I've sort of broken it down into a list of the different types of books I have. So the first lot I'm going to talk about are actually ones that I've acquired very recently, and actually by the time you are seeing this video I may have even made some progress on reading these ones. But basically these are some Christmas books that I have bought in the last week or so to read this December. So the first one being The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox, and then also The 12 Dates for Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. Both of these were Kindle 99p deals. And then I also got Inner Holidays by Christina Lauren. This one I did pay a little bit more for because I knew I definitely wanted to read this one this month. It's not just one I picked up in the hopes that I'll read it. I have plans to read this one as part of a readathon, but it was still a lot cheaper to get the ebook than it was to buy the physical copy. And also I don't think it's one that I'm going to want to keep on my shelves after. I think it's one that I'll enjoy at the time but won't necessarily want to reread too much, hence why I've gone for the Kindle edition instead. Another sort of recent purchase that is also a 99p deal is The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. So this is the second book in the Winter Night trilogy. I am planning on reading the first book in the trilogy this month. So when I saw this one was 99p, I thought I'd pick it up just in case I do want to follow on with it straight away. It means I don't have to rush to go and get the paperbacks to match what I already own. But yeah, I do have this. I don't know if I'm even going to like the series, but I thought it was good to have anyway. Also in the vein of series that I have sequels to, the next two are actually both sequels in the same series, but I have actually already started this series. This is slightly better. For this one, I have got Beneath the Sugar Sky and In an Absent Dream, both by Shauna Maguire, both part of the Wayward Children series. So I got these ones, I actually got the first 4 in the Wayward Children series when Tor were doing this thing where you could download a free ebook every day. Actually, top tip, sign up to Tor's newsletter and you can often get free ebooks. It's great. It's a lot of their novellas that they tend to give away as free downloads just for like 24 hours. So I got each of these ones. It was in the run up to a new one being released. I think they actually did the first 5 that I missed the last day by accident. I just completely forgot I was busy that day. But I have read the first 2 both on these ebooks, and now I have the next 2 to read and then another 2 to acquire somehow after that. Then we have my collection of books that I have got the first one in a series in the hopes that I can try them and then see if I want to buy the physical copies and carry on with the series. The first one being The Fever King by Victoria Lee. The next one being Jade City by Fonda Lee. This one I do actually have a physical copy coming as well. I have the Illumicrate version, which as of filming this I believe should be arriving tomorrow. But fingers crossed I actually like it because I've had this one for ages. I got it on a daily deal and just have not read it yet because I am a little bit useless with keeping up with books that I should be reading. Then we have got Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This one I've heard good things about, but I'm not sure if it's for me, so I thought I'd just get this while it was cheap. Same for Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. I have read the Divergent series. I did enjoy it at the time. Obviously did not love the ending. I don't think anyone really did, but I understood the ending. I didn't hate it as much as some people did. I heard very mixed things about Carved Mark, so I didn't buy that, but I've heard fairly good things about Chosen Ones, so again I bought it while it was cheap. And then the last sort of first in a series that I have that I really want to get to actually is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Now my only issue with this is that I know there are many Brandon Sanderson books, and this one I can't remember if I got it for free or if I got it for really, really cheap, but I picked it up knowing that I wanted to read some Brandon Sanderson, but I also don't really know where to start with his books. It is something that I am making a goal for myself next year, is he's one of the authors I want to read something from. So if anyone has any tips on which one is the best one to start with, please do let me know. I have this one on ebook, but I'm more than happy to purchase some more. I just really want to get into his writing if I can. So the next set of books is more sort of just cheap ones that I got on daily deals on my Kindle, and they are all sort of in the same sort of kind of genre, so they are all romances mostly. I tend to buy a lot of romances on Kindle because they're not ones that I tend to want to keep on my shelves as a physical copy afterwards, but they are ones that I like to have around to read. They're really good to have if you're in a bit of a slump and you just want something really quick to sort of power through. So the first one on here is Something to Talk About by Meryl Wilsner. We then have The Roommate by Rosie Danham. In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. This one I believe actually could be Christmassy, so I could read this one this month. We then have The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I do like Christina Lauren's writing, what I've read of it so far. I have read a few of their other books that I already own, but this is the one that I have left other than the Christmas one that I spoke about earlier. And then we have got Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welsh. I think this one is YA, but I think it's Hayley from Hayley in Bookland that I've heard talk about this one a lot. And again, I saw it cheap. I thought, why not pick it up? A few more sort of random ones that I have that aren't romances, but I just got because they were cheap and I was slightly interested in them for whatever reason. So the first one being Slay by Brittany Morris. I have another book by Brittany Morris physically. I have The Cost of Knowing, but I would like to read this one first because although they're not related, I do like to read things in publication order if I can. I then have The Places I've Cried in Public by Holly Bourne. I own another Holly Bourne book that I actually got first in physical format. That's an older one. I think it's from the Spinster Club series, the first one in that. But I liked the sound of this one. It was on offer. I think my mum's actually read this one already and she quite enjoyed it, so I might pick it up at some point, but to be honest, most of these books I keep forgetting that I even have them. Hopefully this video will help me remember that these books even exist. And then we have another Tor novella that I picked up for free on their newsletter, and that is When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain to Tea by Nji Vo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, and I'm really, really sorry if I said it wrong. Next up is a couple of books that are by authors that I have read from before. So we have The Love Square by Laura Jane Williams. I have read Stop and I've read The Lucky Escape. I have enjoyed both of those, but I've heard really mixed things about The Love Square, so I am a bit hesitant to picking it up, but I'm sure I will get to it at some point. And then we have Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've read Taylor Jenkins Reid more recent books. She's Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six and Malibu Rising, and I do want to read some of her older stuff. I think there's this one, and then there's Is It After I Do? It's one that I'm really interested in. But again, I just keep forgetting that I've got it. I will read it at some point. That is all the ebooks that I've purchased in some way, or I know there was a couple that I got for free on newsletters and things. But that is all of the ones that were sort of finished, published copies at the time of me acquiring them. The next set is all of my ARCs from NetGalley. So yeah, I request books on NetGalley. I do read a fair amount of what I get on there, but I'm also bad for requesting things that I maybe just then forget to read or I lose interest in, or I request things that are later part in the series that I haven't actually started yet, because I have every intention of starting the series and then just kind of don't get round to it before the arc actually should have been read. But anyway, with these I'm going to go from my oldest to my newest and shame myself a little bit more with all the arcs I own and have not read yet. So the first one is a bad one to start with because it is Crazy Stupid Bromance by Lisa K. Adams. I have not started this series. I think this may be book 3 or 4. I'm not sure. I know it's not the first one. I have not got the first one. I don't know. I'll read it eventually. I think when I got this, the first one was actually available on Scribd, and then when I came to read it, it wasn't there. So then I just never got around to actually sort of purchasing it and reading it, but maybe I will eventually. we'll see. Then we have Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. I don't really have anything to say about this one. I was interested in it at the time, but I just never picked it up yet. Same for the next few. So I have Everyone Dies Famous in a Small Town by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. This one sounded interesting. I've seen it in shops now, but still haven't picked it up yet. Just Like in the Movies by Heidi Rice. I think this was from when I sort of first joined NetGalley and I was just applying for anything and everything. And I like films, so I thought a book about films may be good, but I haven't got around to reading it yet. The next two I'm actually more interested in. So we have The Intimacy Experiment by Rosie Dannon. The reason I haven't read this one yet is that I would like to have read The Roommate first. I know they're not connected, but I do have a thing about reading authors' work in their publication order, just in general. So I would like to read The Roommate, which I've already mentioned I do have, and then I will read The Intimacy Experiment. The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. This one, again, I am very interested in. I've just not managed to fit it in. It's only come out this year. I've just not managed to fit it in yet. The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. This is one that I am interested in, but I'm also not at the same time. I probably will pick it up. I can't tell you when yet. The Summer Job by Lizzie Dent. I think this one I probably will end up reading next summer now. I'm just not in the mood for that type of book at the minute, but it is something that's still on my radar. Occulta by Maya Matain. If you watch yesterday's video, you'll see that I have the first book in this series, Nocturna, and haven't read that yet, but I have the arc of the second one, so I can carry on with the series. I will get to Nocturna eventually. Where We Go From Here by Lucas Rocha. I have no excuse for this one. I'm actually really interested in this one. I keep nearly buying it in a bookshop and then telling myself no because I should read the arc first, but I do want to read this one, very much so. Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I've heard very good things about this author, so again, I should really make a move on reading this. I'm just saying, like, all of these books, I'm just like, I should read this. I don't know why I haven't. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I was really excited for this one, and then I've heard some mixed things, and I think it's to do with the perspective that it's written in. I think it's one of those where it's like written in second person, so it's like, you did this. I'm not sure how I feel about that, so I've been putting it off a little bit. Then we have While We Were Dating by Jasmine Guillory, another sort of adult romance that I think I just need to be in the mood for. Isn't It Romantic by Lisa K. Adams, because apparently I didn't learn my lesson from applying for one of these arcs before I had to get one of the next ones in the series as well, and I still haven't started the series. We then have The Gilded Cage by Lynette None. I got this one with every intention of getting The Prison Healer and reading that, but then I heard some really mixed things about The Prison Healer, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with that one, to be honest. Then we have An Unexpected Kind of Love by Hayden Stone. This is one that I just read the synopsis of, and it sounded like something I might enjoy. Falls in Love, which is a short story collection, which is by various authors, which again, I just like the sound of, but it's just not been able to get on my TBR yet. The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins, which is a YA horror thriller. I've read quite a few of these authors' books. I've read her sort of Anna and the French Kiss series, and I did enjoy those at the time. I'm not sure if I'd enjoyed them on reread, but I did enjoy them at the time that I read them. I read There's Someone Inside Your House, and I liked that, but I didn't love it. I'm not a massive sort of thriller horror reader, but I thought I'd still request the arc of this one, and I should have read it really during sort of spooky season, but I think I got approved for the arc fairly late on, and then it didn't really fit in with sort of the vibe of books that I'm reading right now. So maybe next year. I know I shouldn't put off an arc till next year, but it's probably going to happen. We're then moving on to the more recent arcs that I've got, and some of these I'm really excited for, so I will actually be making a priority to read these. First one being Cherish Farah by Bethany C. Morrow. Heard good things about her books. I haven't read anything yet, but I think this may be her first adult book, and it just sounds really interesting. I cannot even give you a synopsis because I can't remember what it is, but I remember being really intrigued by it, and it being one that I'm looking forward to coming out next year. And I keep seeing it on Twitter at the minute as well because I follow her, so she's talking about it a lot. And hopefully I will actually get to this one soon. I'm thinking I might try and get to this one in January if possible. We then have Golden Boys by Phil Stamper. I have read two other Phil Stamper books before. I liked one of them. I wasn't as keen on another one, but I do like his writing style. I'm just waiting for him to find a book that I really am going to love from him. And actually the synopsis of this one sounds great, so fingers crossed it is this one. I've just got approved this one like last week, I think it was. So I have plenty of time to read it. I think it's still a good few months before it comes out, and hopefully I will get to it before it comes out. We then have All's Well by Mona Awad. Now I know this one is out in the US. I'm not sure if it's out in the UK yet because it's just appeared sort of on UK NetGalley, but I very much am interested in this author's other book, Bunny, and when I saw this one available for request, I thought I would try it because there's something about these books that just sound strange but very interesting, and I'm hoping I will get to this one soon. Again, I've just been approved for it. And then last but not least, the other one that I've just been approved for is The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. So this one actually is already out. I've seen it in bookshops. I don't know if it's not out in the US yet maybe, and that's why it's on NetGalley, because you kind of alternate between the US and the UK NetGalley. But I kept seeing it in shops and thinking, should I buy this? So when I saw it on NetGalley, I thought I'd try and get it, and I got approved for it very quickly. So hopefully I will actually read this one soon. Again, do not really know what it's about, but I just keep seeing it everywhere, and I thought maybe I'll want to try that. So that is all of the books that I have on my non-physical TBR. It's all of the ebooks that I own, be they ones that I purchased or ones that I've got the ARC for. And yeah, it's a fair few books. Like I said, just need to remember that I actually have these. When I'm deciding what I want to read, I need to actually sort of look through my ebook. I might try and do it that when I do my TBRs for next year, I try and put like at least one ebook on every month. I might try and do a month where I entirely read ebooks. I am contemplating doing a month where I just read ARCs that I should have read previously. But that combined with yesterday's video is basically every book that I own that I need to read, and it is a lot. So let's hope I have a good reading year next year, I suppose. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Let me know the state of your TBR, be that physical, be it non-physical. Tell me I'm not alone. I think this is what I said at the end of yesterday's video as well. But yes, thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye.